Just curious what your impressions were of the 6:20 dawn practice, and I guess what your routines were like this morning.
Man, I actually like it. We were just talking about it before we came in here. You beat the sun. It's just great. Just the only thing about it is just getting your body going in the morning. Obviously, we have to find a routine for that, but I'm not pawing on it. I actually like it.
Yeah, no, I was a big fan of it. It's kind of nice that it was the first day that we're starting off super early because, regardless of what time it was, everybody was going to wake up with juice. It's the first day, pads are popping, so it was good. It was good having that early start and just kind of having that energy already there just because it's that first day and everybody's excited to play football again.
How do you think practice was for you guys individually?
Individually, it went great. Always can be better, It was great to be back out there with the guys, just see some of the newer guys and some of the older guys as well get back and just everybody to be playing around as a team.
Yeah, for me, it was a solid day. Cam Ball was back out there, so that created a little bit of trouble. So, you know how he is, a really good player. So it's going to be really fun having him back this fall and just kind of competing because, we got some really good D tackles, but, he just brings that, that little extra edge, and that twitchiness is unmatched.
There's some competition on the on the right side going on. Your impressions of it, it would be Blackstock and Marion and Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah, we got all four of them, really good players. And, like you said, it's a great competition going on that side. And I really couldn't tell you who's going to have the edge right now because all of them can play that first Saturday. And so I think we just got to wait and see. But really good competition, and I think whoever's out there come that first Saturday, we're going to be just fine. Everybody's ready. They know the playbook, and they're ready to go.
Larry, Coach was up here with us earlier and said there were several interceptions, but he remembered, I think, Julian, and he remembered Caleb. Who all got picks today?
Like you said, Ju had one, Caleb had one, Q Skendricks had one. Who else had one? Shakur. We had four of them today. Yeah, Shakur. There was a lot of juice flying around today going on.
Any contributing factors? Were there a lot of tips involved? Were there just,
that energy just contagious, Once you catch one of them, it's easy to catch another one, you know what I mean? So that energy just was flying around, and that was one thing we wanted to do, create turnovers, get the ball back to the offense.
Larry, Julian Neal's a newcomer, and Shakur Small, those guys, I know it's been one practice, but you were with them this summer, and they weren't here in the spring, but they come in the summer. How have they looked?
Man, they look great day one, I would say. They definitely impressed me and some of the coaches as well, just day one, both of those boys. It's just, it's kind of hard to evaluate somebody when we're just running around doing sprints, you know what I mean? But just seeing them in spiders, obviously it's not pads yet, but just seeing them in spiders, they look great, and I can't wait to see what they do.
Coach bragged on Antonio Jordan every time he's been in here. What have you seen from him?
He had some great catches today. A younger guy, but he doesn't play like a younger guy, I will say. So he definitely has that dog in him, and I can't wait to see what he do as well.
Tom kind of asked what I was going to Fernando, but just there again, on the newcomers like Corey Robinson and Kittler and Shaq and the other, you feel like they've really progressed since the spring, since they were here in the spring.
Yeah, it doesn't even feel like they're new guys anymore, to be honest with you. Like, when we were out there today, just the communication, it felt like they've been here for, the 2 years there, they're like 2 years. And, it doesn't even feel like new guys. These guys have really dug into the playbook. Killer's been money with the calls, and he's out there, and, he's sharp and he's confident. So that just kind of helps out the whole line just be right. And so it's a lot of fun. It doesn't feel like new guys at all.
Junior, it looks like I think Shaq has dropped like 18 pounds. What kind of offseason did he have, and what does it take, I guess, for him to get down, dropping that much weight?
Yeah, I think just his mentality. He kind of came in, he kind of had that freshman mindset at the beginning, and I think, just us older guys were like, Shaq, you have all the potential in the world to be one of the greatest players to come through Arkansas. And I think he truly believed that, and his summer work really reflected that. And the way he worked, and like you said, he lost a crap ton of pounds. He looks amazing. He's moving around great. And so I think he's starting to see the potential in himself, and it's going to be awesome. I just love seeing his growth and just kind of his mindset, turning from that freshman to like, I'm going to be the greatest.
Larry, you started off, I think when we saw you were at boundary safety maybe today. I know you worked a lot, worked a lot of hog and stuff in the spring. Did you mix it up today, work in different spots, and also we didn't get to see Jordan Young at all in the spring. How do you think he's come along at that spot?
JY, he's coming along very well. You know, like he said, even though y'all didn't see him in the spring, we got to see him in the spring behind closed doors, and he's not even like a newer guy anymore. Like we treat him like one of obviously he's one of ours, but he fit right in, and he made some plays today as well. So I can't wait to see him do more. Oh yeah, I bounce around. You know, you're gonna see that every day. I bounce around every day. That's just me.
Fernando, you mentioned Cam Ball and kind of going up against him as a twitchiness, but you know, before practice starts, he's the guy with Souders kind of doing the jumping jacks, leading. I mean, just what's the emotional boost that his returns kind of brought to the team right now?
It's huge. You could just tell on the defensive line, just kind of how everybody just feeds off of them. They finally got that, you know, their anchor and that their captain in there, and so he's a huge part. And like you said, he's breaking it down. He's the one, you know, kind of getting the guys juiced up going out there. So having him back out there it's awesome. Obviously for me getting my work, but also for the D line, just, you know, having their P's and Q's in line, and you know, having that guy that they could go to every time.
What did you see from Talon today? You know, back end as a safety, looking at everything. I mean, how he looks pretty confident and comfortable out there to us. What's kind of the first impressions for you in year 2 with him?
Like you've been hearing a lot, year 2 on Bobby P, you can see it already. You know, he's just way more confident. He just the game slowed down for him. You could definitely tell, and his reads are better. You know what I mean? So he definitely looks better, and Taylor gonna have a great year this year.
You know, I'm curious what's Kobe Branham like? You know, being around him, and kind of what does he bring to the table as a player?
Yeah, he's like a 5th-year senior. I don't know how he's such a young guy, but he just has such an old mentality, and maybe that's because his pops played Division I and he's helped him out. But no, he's truly an old head out there, and just the way he knows his playbooks, the way he leads at such a young age, it's something you hardly ever see. And so he brings a great presence out there, and it's really nice to have him back out there because I've always said he's going to be an Arkansas great, and you know, it's just great to have him back out there, bringing that energy and just being that leader for how young he is.
Larry, I'm curious, the couple other newcomers at wide receiver, Jalen Brown and Andy Jean, just what are your early impressions of going up against those guys?
They had a great day as well. You know, obviously can't wait to see further more from what they do, but they definitely had a great day one. But they both had some great catches as well. So.
Year was your first fall camp at Arkansas. What do you remember just maybe for the newcomers now, the transfers, kind of what that adjustment's like, what were like some of the hardest things just to get going, and then now looking in a second year, what's the benefit for y'all kind of going through it again?
Man, I'll just say the main thing is just slowing the game down for you. It's easier said than done, but just slow the game down for you. Your confidence going to grow, you know, wherever you were at before you were here. You know, you're not there no more, so you got to prove yourself again and just continue to stack days and just let that confidence grow.
Yeah, I think for me, I just kind of, last year my mind was running, you know, I'm in the SEC, just kind of had a lot of other non-factors on my mind, and I feel like this year, like I kind of see the bigger picture of, you know, I got to take it one day at a time, and, you know, I got to get better today, and I can't worry about what's going to come in this season and what's going to come week 5 or 6, but it's a one-day mentality, so I think that's the biggest difference for me.
For either of you guys, you know, Mike Washington's a new guy running with the ones, and and Coach was talking about how he had the most points in summer and how he earned that. What has stood out to you guys about his work ethic this summer?
Wash. That's nickname, Mike Wash. Only thing I can say about Mike Wash, he a dog. You know, and I don't use that word lightly. You know what I mean? So he a real dog. He not gonna say too much. He gonna put his head down and work. Like, I didn't even know he had the most points this summer, you know what I mean? But he stood up. Mike Wash had the most points, and he a dog.
Yeah, I think dog is the best way of saying it. I actually had the pleasure of working out with him one of the mornings. I think it was like week 2 of him like being here. He had to work out early Friday morning for an early class, and I had to work out early for some reason. I had to work out with him, and I was struggling to keep up. I mean, just the way he throws around weight, I was like, man, this dude is something special. So, like he said, he's a dog, and, you know, I'm excited for you guys to see him on Saturday because he's gonna put up some highlights for sure.
For Larry, how important has it been to have both Steven Dix and Xavier Sori back on the defense for year 2?
All I can say is thank you. It's very important to have both of them back. You know, that communication just going from year 1 to year 2. Kind of, I already know what they're thinking. I already know what their mind's thinking. They know what I'm thinking. So that makes the check that much easier, you know what I mean? And we're all kind of on the same, not kind of, we all are on the same page, you know what I mean? So.
Fernando, with Taylor, what did you make of his day and maybe his progress from last year?
Man, just the way he commands that huddle. It just feels different. The way he gives out the calls just feel different. The way he's kind of giving like little side cues to the wide receivers as they're leaving the huddle, and just kind of the way he's uplifting the offensive line through those 5-6 plays where he's like, hey, we got to keep pushing. So I just think that's obviously his second year. He's a lot more comfortable in the playbook, and then also just realizing he has to take a bigger step in the leadership role, and it definitely showed today, day one.
He's kind of revealed in the last few weeks that he was playing on more hurt than people knew. Ben Souders told us yesterday you wouldn't believe how hurt he was and how. So you saw that in action last year. What did you make his maybe mental makeup to do that?
He is very tough. I think you guys all remember the hit at Tennessee where the dude dove right at his knees, and it was one of those things where I was like, we might not have Taylor for the rest of the year, but just kind of who he is, he's mentally like, I'm going to keep playing. And honestly, I think if it was up to him, he would have honestly came back out there and finished that last few drives. But yeah, he's just a mentally tough. He has like a O-line mentality, like I'm going to play any snap no matter how hurt I am, and having that as your quarterback makes you just want to play that much harder. So it's really amazing.
Is there any adjusting still for you, Junior, moving to left guard? And maybe if not, at what point did you feel, all right, I'm fully comfortable now with this position switch?
Yeah, no, there's still lots of learning I had to do. Just kind of with my steps and what I can do and what I can't do. I feel like in the run game I'm kind of figured it out, but in the pass game there's still kind of a long way I need to go. But that's what fall camp's for. We got this month to really iron out all the airs and all that good stuff. And so I think I'm almost there, but, I just kind of got to clean up that passing game, and I think I'll be ready to go.
And you mentioned Caden Kittler. I think you said on point with the calls. Like, what is can you kind of put more words in that, describe it for us non-players? Like, how does that show on the offensive line, what he's doing over there?
Yeah, he's just going up to the line. He's able to identify the defense early, whether it's 3 down or 4 down, and get out that first call. Because once he gets out that first call, that kind of just has a ripple effect on the offensive line of everybody else makes their calls. And so he's getting those out super fast and early, and that's just helping everyone else, have some time to process, all right, this is what I got to do. And he's honestly making calls for, both sides sometimes. He's making his calls, and then he's going back and making the backside calls. So that just kind of shows the work he's put in this offseason to the playbook and just kind of how smart he is for, being the center.
Quincy Rhodes, he's kid really impressive last spring. Landon's gone now. Can both of y'all talk a little bit what your expectations are for Quincy Rhodes Jr. this year?
Even though Landon's gone, we're not expecting him to fill Landon's shoes. We want him to fill Quincy's shoes, He the next man up. He got to do what he got to do, you know what I mean? But the talent's there, the physical's there, the mental's there. That's what fall camp's for him to make mistakes. So when game time do come, he's ready.
Yeah, I had actually the pleasure to work out with him this whole summer, and I think his mentality of, and what he can do, I think he's starting to realize and see the bigger picture, and he's worked extremely hard this summer. And I think, you guys are going to see this big leap from him come this year. And like you said, it's going to be Quincy Rhodes. We're going to talk about Landon, and it's going to be like Quincy was also that guy. So I'm excited to see what he does.
You were on the Outland watch list like yesterday or the day before. Not that you come back to be on an Outland watch list, but can you maybe speak to what that feels like and then what you want to get done this year?
Yeah, none of that really matters. It's cool. It looks cool on Instagram. My dad sends it to me. My brother sends it to me. But, some friends send it to me. But it really doesn't matter. It's a true honor. But at the end of the day, I got to win the award in December. I got to put the work in today. I got to put the work in each and every week to get that award. But at the end of the day, none of that matters unless I do the work. So, true honor, but doesn't mean anything.